Welcome back, GED scholars and math warriors. Thank you for joining me for Algebra 104, Part 1, the case of the missing variable. And if you're wondering, well, if this is 104, is there a 101, a 102, and a 103? Yes, there are, folks. This video is part of the Algebra series. And algebra is one of the maths that will be tested on the GED exam along with geometry. This algebra series has been broken up within the different courses, the 101, 102, 103, and 104. And you'll notice that the 104 series starts with part 1 because we have 7 parts for this algebra series where we talk about equations, inequalities, and functions. Before we get started, folks, please make sure to visit GEDtalk.com/resources. We have free worksheets for you to download. They not only have the problems, but we also provide the answers for you as well. And make sure you go ahead and you click that subscribe button because every time we drop a new video, we have new resources like free worksheets at GEDtalk.com/resources. So let's go ahead and jump into part 1, the case of the missing variable. So we're going to start off simple. And if you've watched any of the other math videos, whether it's part of the algebra series or any of the calculator videos, you've probably watched me complete a one-step equation. And so an equation is a math statement that two expressions are equal. For example, if we had 3 plus 5 on one side of the equation, and then we had 4 times 2 on the other, this is a valid equation because 5 plus 3 equals 8 and 4 times 2 equals 8. So, just technically, we're showing two different ways where we can get the same answer. But when it comes to algebra equations, there's going to be a missing number, and that number will be substituted with a variable. And remember, folks, we learned in the first algebra series that a variable is any letter of the alphabet that will stand in for that number. So you might see something like 4 plus x equals 11. Or you might see something like 5 times x equals 25. And it's not always going to be X. You might see a Y or a Z or basically any other letter in the alphabet. And so when we have these types of problems where we're introduced to variables, our goal is to find out what X stands for. And what we end up doing with these one-step equations when it comes to algebra is in order to get X by itself, you might have to, for example, in this equation right here, you would need to divide both sides of the equation by 5 because in algebra, you're going to complete the opposite operation than what you see. So 5 times x is multiplication. Opposite of multiplication is division. So if I divide both sides by 5, well, I know that this will cancel itself out, and then I have x by itself. X equals 25 divided by 5. Well, what's 25 divided by 5? That's 5. So x would equal 5. If we come up to this top one right here that we started with, well, we have 4 plus x equals 11. I need to get x by itself. So what's the opposite of addition? It's subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So that equals 0. And I'm left with x on its own on the left side of the equal symbol. But whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side. So I subtracted 4 from the left side, which means I need to subtract 4 from the right. So then x equals 11 minus 4 is 7. So if I was given the problem x over 2 equals 17, I need to get x by itself. And so in order to do that, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. This will cancel out the 2, and then it'll leave me with x equals 17. And remember, folks, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I need to multiply the right side by 2 as well. 17 times 2 is going to give me 34. And if you need to check your answers, folks, all you need to do is rewrite the equation, but instead of putting x, let's put in 34 to see if whatever's happening on this side of the equation really equals whatever's happening on the other side. And 34 divided by 2 equals 17. And for those of you who are like, where is the calculator? I thought you always like to use your calculator. Yes, I like to use the calculator, folks. But when it's simple multiplication, it's okay to use your brain. And if you're like, how did you know that this is simple multiplication? Because folks, the more you practice, the more your mind starts to see patterns. That's the beauty of math, is that there are a lot of patterns. Just keep on practicing, practice your multiplication table, but you're absolutely right. You have the calculator, so let's go ahead and use it. So if I take 34 and I'm going to divide it by 2, enter, and we get 17, folks. I have 7x equals 63. So first step is I need to figure out how can I get x by itself. Well, I see that 7 is multiplying x, and in order to get x by itself, I'm going to do the opposite operation, which is division. So I have 63 divided by 7. Go ahead and pull up your calculator. Let's clear our screen, and we're going to do 63 divided by 7, hit enter, and our answer is 9. So we know that x equals 9. 23 plus m equals 51. So I need to do the opposite of what I see here on the left side, and I see an addition sign. So I'm going to subtract 23 from both sides of the equation. Remember, whatever you do on one side, you have to do to the other side as well. So the left side will cancel itself out. And now I'm going to subtract on the right. So 51 minus 23. Once again, go ahead and pull up your calculator if you want to. If you want to do it the old school style and do it in your head, you can do that as well, folks. But remember, you are being timed with the exams, so you don't want to just sit there and spend frivolous time doing something you know your calculator can take care of. So let's go ahead and type in 51 minus 23 and hit enter, and we get 28. So let's go ahead and look at another example. And yes, this is a word problem example. I want you to understand that a lot of the math exam, along with the science exam too, has to do with different types of word problems. And just like in the reasoning through language arts exam and the social study exams, you are reading for certain types of information. The same is true about word problems. I would highly suggest you watch the word problems series that we have in order to better understand what you should be paying attention to and how you can really tackle these different types of problems using the 4-step method. So when we look at this problem, it says John and Sally worked a total of 77 hours. If Sally worked 35 hours, how many hours did John work? Let J equal John's hours. So I'm given my total, and that's a piece of information I want to pay attention to. And I'm actually going to put down the equal sign and put the 77 on this side of the equal sign. And on this side, on the left side, I'm going to put the equation. Well, it tells me that Sally worked 35 hours. And it's telling me that J will stand for John. In order for me to figure out how I got to this total, I know I need to complete a certain operation. And what operation is that? That's going to be addition, because I want to see what is 35, that's Sally's, plus John's, which is going to be J, but 35 plus J equals 77 will help me figure out what J equals. So if we went ahead and the question asks, how many hours did John work? Okay, in order to get the J by itself, doing the opposite of this operation, which is addition, I'm going to subtract 35 on the left, and that'll cancel it out. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the right, because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So 7 minus 5 equals 2. 7 minus 3 equals 4. So J, John's hours, equals 42. Let's go ahead and move on, and we're going to look at solving multi-step equations. And so in order for us to solve multi-step equations, we need to first make sure we know how to combine like terms. And if you have no idea what I mean when I say like terms, I want you to check out the Algebra 102 video. And then like we saw in the single step equations that we just practiced with, we need to make sure we get the variable by itself by completing the opposite operation. And remember, whatever you do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other. If I have the problem 6x plus 5 minus 2x equals 25, I know that I eventually want to get x by itself. But what I also notice is that there is this 6x in the beginning of the equation. Well, 6x and negative 2x are actually like terms. And what makes them like terms is the fact that they have the same variable, x, and the x is raised to the first power. If one of these x's was raised to a different power, let's say the power of 2, then I don't have like terms. And if that's confusing to you, folks, please go watch the Algebra 101 video where we talk about like terms and unlike terms. But let's go ahead and take that raised to the power of 2 away. So when we have like terms and we're going to combine them, we combine the coefficient. So 6 minus 2 is going to give me 4, and we bring the x down. You don't do anything to that variable. So we have 4x plus 5 equals 25. Okay, well, I already combined the like terms. Perfect. So now I can get x by itself. So I'm going to divide, right? 4 on both sides. Not yet, folks. Remember, this is multi-step equations. We have to bring this 5 over first before we can go ahead and get that x by itself. There's another step we are going to take. And so we need to do the opposite of what we see here, and we have plus 5. So I'm going to write minus 5 on this side. It'll cancel it out on this side. Whatever I do on the left, I will do to the right. So minus 5 on this side, and I get 20. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. Now I have 4x equals 20. Now I can get that x truly by itself, getting rid of this 4. And it's multiplying. What's the opposite? Division. So on this side, I'll divide by 4. It'll cancel itself out. And this side, I divide by 4. So now I have x equals 20 divided by 4, and that will give me 5. So let's look at another one. If I have negative 4 times x minus 6 equals 2x, I notice that first and foremost, I have x on both sides, and we're going to address that in a moment. But I also notice that I need to distribute this negative 4 with the first term and the second term in the parentheses. So if I do that, I have negative 4 times x, which will give me negative 4x. Then negative 4 times negative 6 will give me positive 24. And I'll go ahead and bring down the rest of the equation. Well, now I know I want to get x by itself, and I have the number 24 here. So I'm going to leave that 24 where it is, but instead I'm going to bring over this negative 4x. And I know you're thinking, oh, okay, so if it's multiplying, we're going to do the opposite, which is division. And that's true, folks, but that would be if we wanted to separate the coefficient, which is the 4, and the variable, which is x. We don't want to separate them yet. Okay, we need them to come as a team from the left side of the equal sign to the right side. So I'm not going to divide, I'm actually going to add, because it's a negative 4x. I want to keep it together, so I'm going to add 4x on the left side, and this will cancel it out on the left side. Whatever you do on one side, you must do to the other, so I'm going to add 4x to the right side, and now I have 24 equals 6x. Now I can separate the 6 and the x on this side by doing the opposite. What's the opposite of multiplication? It's division. So divide by 6 on this side to cancel it out, divide by 6 on this side. And then we get 24 divided by 6 equals x. Well, 24 divided by 6, folks, will give me 4. So then I have 4 equals x. Let's look at another multi-step equation. I have 3x minus 20 equals 130. Okay, first step, I need to make sure I get this 20 over on the other side, because the goal is to get x by itself. You got to start breaking things up, drawing them away from the left side of the equal sign. Because I added, it'll just cancel itself out. Whatever I do on one side, I got to do to the other. So now I have 3x equals 150. Okay, I got to get x by itself. How do I break up the 3 and the x? All I have to do is the opposite of what they have going on right now, which is multiplication. So the opposite is division. I'll divide by 3 on the left. It'll cancel itself out. Divide by 3 on the right, and I get x equals 50. Go ahead and do another one. This is our last one, folks. But once again, please make sure you check out GEDtalk.com, the resources page, where we have different types of worksheets for you to download for free along with the answers. And remember, practice makes permanent. So let's go ahead and take a peek at another one for us to try. So let's do a fraction again. So if I have 3h divided by 2 equals 30, I know that the first thing I need to do is to break up the fraction, not the 3 and the h, not yet. So I know I'm going to multiply on the left side by 2, and that will cancel the 2's out. Whatever I do on one side, I must do to the other. So I have 3h equals 30 times 2, which is 60. Now I can break up the 3 and the h. I can break up the coefficient and the variable. And I'm going to do that by the opposite. They multiply together, so division will make sure they break up. So whatever I do on one side, I'm going to do on the other. So now I have h equals 60 divided by 3, which equals 20. Thanks, folks, for watching the video. Please make sure you visit gedtalk.com/resources to download the different worksheets. Practice makes permanent. Also, please make sure if you haven't already checked out Algebra 101, 102, and 103 that you watch those videos, because if you were confused for any part of this video, those first videos will definitely help you out. Once again, folks, thank you for watching. Remember, you know what you're doing. You've got this. Keep your head up.